Gee, it sure is boring around here. I just wonder what my Olympies are up to. Hi, Olympies! It's Wednesday. It's time for CDI Zelda. Are you ready? Are you ready? My boy, this piece is what all true heroes strive for. Enough. My ship sails in the morning. Phase, are you ready to see? I don't know if any of you have actually like played or watched through these before, but this is going to be a learning experience for me. I never have. I wonder what's for dinner. So let me welcome everybody in first and foremost. I'm bad about doing that one. I'm bad about doing that one at the beginning. So let me do that real quick. Welcome in Richard Rebuttal. Welcome in Shiroiga. Welcome in Sigurd. Welcome in Mokoken. Welcome in Sakemomo. Welcome in Ranmu. Welcome in Rumblimo. Welcome in Fully Andretti. Welcome in That Genie Problem. Welcome in Nominal H Surf. Welcome in any lurker friends that might be there. Thank you for the head pat, Fully. Thank you. Thank you. I have never played these before. I have only seen the out of context clips from like YouTube poops or whatever, so I don't really know how this game plays. I think I maybe heard it's kind of like one of those FMV games where it's kind of like what's a good example? Like Dragon's Lair or something? Be prepared for mediocre side-scrolling action. Wait, is it a side-scroller? I thought it was like an FMV game. That's what I thought it was. All right, Olympies. All right, we're gonna get to the quotes. Don't worry. Don't worry. We have both of them ready for today, so that's gonna be the first one looked like it was Faces of Evil, and the second one is Wand of Gamelon. I don't know which is which. I don't know which of the quotes come from where. I should have maybe I should have got like, I don't know, Hotel Mario or something prepped up as well, but I didn't have to set up an emulator for this one. Hi generic username. Let me get a drink. On please. I didn't have to set up an emulator for this one because I grabbed the remastered version that the studio, we were talking about this a bit yesterday. The studio that made what's it called? Arzest? This is illegal, you know? Yeah, like it is illegal to emulate Unwolfies. In some jurisdictions, maybe. But I have the remastered versions that the people that made, I think it was that Arzest game. I think that was the name of it. And they apparently had, the dude that made it had them up for download, Hakiwami, for 2 days, I think it was, before he took them down. He didn't want to get cease and desisted. Why was that so hard to say? Let me get a drink, please. It isn't illegal to emulate in the US. You can't rip your own ROMs or ISOs and play them on. Yeah, you can rip your own, but I think if I remember right, there's only really been one case in the US about emulation, and that was like the Bleen court case, I think. It was the, gosh, what was it? It was a PS1 emulator on Dreamcast, I think? Is that right? Is that what that one was? And I think if I remember right, it might have been the other way around. No, it was Dreamcast. It was on the Dreamcast and it emulated the PS1, I believe. And Sony basically, from my understanding, took that company to court, and they just kind of ran PS1 on PC and Dreamcast. They just kind of did that thing that a big company can do, where they just stall them out until they run out of money. You can't fight the big companies always. It doesn't work that way. Hi Natsume. Emulation isn't illegal. ROM distribution is. Yeah, you're supposed to. You're also supposed to like dump your own BIOS. I think providing the BIOS is also technically illegal. I don't know. But yeah, that was the court case with Bleen. Or is that? Yeah, that was the one. If these end up not being like the most terrible thing in the universe, maybe we'll try out Arzet. I'm kind of curious. Let me pull this up real quick on Steam. I think it was on Steam. Arzet. It's $20. It's $20. That's kind of pricey for a probably very mediocre game, to be honest. But they did some cool stuff with Arza. They got the voice actors for Zelda and Link, and obviously they have to be like legally distinct Zelda and legally distinct Link and whatnot. And they got a bunch of like e-celebs and stuff to do voices. Yeah, no bio sharing. I'm kind of curious if they were to do another court case about emulation these days. I'm interested to see what the ruling like that would be. I think even if they were like, emulation is completely illegal, you can't even like build your own emulator because it violates international ceasefire treaties or something like that. Hi Nuke, how are you today? I think emulators would still get made, despite that. I think they would still get made, like, probably just in a country where there is no ruling for it. If I had to guess, they made a few select discs called Blamecast, which let you run PS1 discs on Dreamcast. I don't know how that would work. They can't have been like similar enough in terms of the technology, right? And consoles weren't like as powerful back then. I don't think you could like emulate another console on a console of the time. I don't know. I don't know anything, Elmface. I don't know anything. Arzette's platforming's nowhere near as jank as what you're gonna play. I mean, didn't they do a little bit of cleaning stuff up for the remastered version? This is the one. Let me take a look again. It's by CDI software, like a CD location where you don't want to be. Elmface and I like this one. My eyeball, Elmface. Me defending my compound from Interpol and UN peacekeepers when emulation is outlawed in 2045. See, that looks more like you're not really putting up a fight, because they changed the gun emoji. I think that was quite a few years back now. It's a squirt gun now. You can even see on stream there is a different version in the Twitch chat and being displayed on screen. I have no idea why they're different. I have no idea why those are different. They wanted to make a bunch, but only ended up making individual boot discs for Gran Turismo 2, Tekken 3, and Metal Gear Solid. Those are still pretty good games, to be honest. Zelda and Zinc. I don't actually know which characters are supposed to be Zelda and which are supposed to be Link and Arzette. I was not aware of Arzette until you guys told me about Arzette. So that was a new discovery for me. You can take the SNES 9X from my cold, dead, soggy hands. You're gonna have pruned up hands. You gotta make sure you don't keep them in the water too long. Don't keep them in the water forever. Fun fact: Arzette's creator made the remasters. Yeah, I was saying that earlier. They were up for download for like 2 days or something before he took them down because he didn't want to get cease and desisted. Hi Basil. Thank you for the head pat. Hi El. How is everybody's... Did I already say Tuesday? Because it's Wednesday today. It's Wednesday. You've made it halfway through the week. As an owner of CDI Zelda, good luck. This shouldn't be as bad. These are like the fan remastered version. Hi Daz. Hi Daz. How's Wednesday? Maybe I should ask, where is Wednesday? Where is Wednesday? There was one recently, Nintendo vs. Yuzu. Nintendo won because DMCA for distributing decryption stuff. Did they take them to court for that? I know they got a bunch of stuff taken down through DMCA's, but did they actually take them to court? Basically, you stick the disc in, which bypasses copy protection, then you swap to the PS1 disc. It actually upscales them? Wait, was the Dreamcast stronger than the PS1? I don't really know my system specs that well. We used to have an actual one, but now it's just a water pistol. Yeah, they changed it to a squirt gun. That's weird. That's weird. I think I think surprisingly on like iOS or something like that, it was it's still a gun, I think. There was somewhere that it's still like a regular metal gun. I forget where that was though. Hi, stepped up. I hope outside wasn't too unforgiving. I think I maybe have the start of a cold on my face. I've been sneezing a lot and my nose has been really runny and I've been coughing a lot. I think my short jaunt outside caused me to get sick. I feel like I might need to just live in a bubble or something. I feel like my immune system isn't. It's not that strong. It's not that strong. We're gonna have another one of those like week-long sicks. I'm gonna be out for an entire week because I'm gonna be coughing and sneezing and puking. They settled out of court and the main team shut down Yuzu. There's clone gets so it won't die. I remember seeing about that. They also took down Citra at the same time because I think Citra and Yuzu were both maintained by the same team, if I remember right. But if I remember right, Citra was also like basically it was basically like feature complete. I think from my understanding, pretty much everything ran perfectly fine on Citra. So like, it's out there. You can find it if you still want it. If you want to do 3DS stuff. But of course, you have to dump your own BIOS and your own ROMs on one face. You wouldn't want to do anything illegal. You wouldn't want to do anything illegal. We practice safe, legal game playing here on One Piece. Yeah, do it legally. Do it legally. Main character is Link, and the Wimpy character in the intro is Link? Wait, there are two Links? There are two Links? It's Wolf Wednesday. It's Wand of Gamelon Wednesday. That's what today is. Main character is Zelda, rather. Oh, so Zelda's the main character and Link's just a loser dork. It's supposed to be like in the same canon after a time skip or something, right? They are literally supposed to be the same characters that went through the same things, from my understanding, just legally distinctifiable versions. You know, they don't want to get sued. They don't want to get sued. I wouldn't mind dumping my own game carts into Citra if I had a PC that could run it. I've actually seen they have little, like, I think they're USB dongles that you can, like, plug in and dump your own games and stuff. Hi Alexa, how's your Wednesday going? I saw one for older, like, cartridge-based games, and I think it interfaced through the serial port. You know, the port that your computer probably maybe doesn't have anymore, unless you have like an older computer. I had a Game Boy Advance flash cart like forever ago on One Piece that I had to. It supported one game at a time, and I had to I had to put the games on it through my serial port. Hi Umfi Chumfi, how are you? How are you? Thank you for the headpad. CDI emulation is such a dead end that people just made native PC parts of the worthwhile titles. I've heard there are some CDI games that are okay. Not good, but passable. You know, I know Professor Bloom was playing some here a while ago. He was almost certainly playing on official hardware though. That's one of the things that he does a lot of. And I'm gonna do that soon on One Piece. I'm gonna have a retro tink. I'm gonna have a retro tink and be able to just plug everything straight into my capture card. Hey Billy. Hi Billy. How's your Wednesday going? Yuzu was hit because they were charging for updates and had the channel. They had channels with pirated ROMs. See, that's where they probably messed up. You can't make money off of that stuff. You can't distribute stuff. I think they maybe would have flown under the radar had they not done that, but Nintendo's been kind of vicious lately. they've been pretty vicious. They took down a bunch of stuff off of Vim's lair. They took down gosh, there was another site that like they straight up took down here recently, I think. I forget what it was, but they've been kind of vicious. They've been going after people. Put chicken soup on your throne for your health. I already have monsters on my throne. You can buy me a monster for my health on Fizz. Haru after going outside for 5 minutes. Haru blush. I get sick pretty easy. I need to start like licking more doorknobs and stuff to build up my immune system. Become ungovernable. Don't download the extremely easy and untraceable illegal solution for free. Don't do that. I won't phase. No one here is going to jail. Not under my watch. If the FBI shows up at your door, you let them know about me. You let them know about me. You're like, hey, I'm under Haru's protection. They'll immediately like step down. The FBI bows to me. I won't phase. The FBI bows to me. Haru has to hold someone's hand with gloves to improve immune system. Yeah, I wouldn't want the bacteria directly touching my skin. I would immediately like burst into flames and die, or become pregnant. That's how that happens from holding hands. Don't do it, I won't phase. Also, I'm not a dog, Jumpy. I'm sorry, I'm not a dog. Have you seen the silly controller limited run games made for RZ's release? I remember seeing something. Let me look this up. Let me look that up and pull it up. Actually, that reminds me. Today's limited edition console, limited run games, RZ. Is this gonna bring it up? Our special edition console for today, I won't phase, isn't a console. It's just a controller that I found neat. You're gonna get to see a controller that you couldn't have in the US. You couldn't have that one in the US. Is it this? Let me pop this up on screen. I assume it's this right here. I have never in my life actually played a CDI game. I don't think I've ever seen one. Is this what a CDI controller looked like? A Kinder Egg controller? Is this what they look like? You can dump inside the 3DS with custom firmware. Works on DS too. I have a bad neck, so yay, Citra. I like to play things on the consoles when I can. I had to wake up at 6 a.m. I'm sorry, Billy. I slept in forever yesterday, like, today. I very much do think I'm, like, beginning to get sick. Most of the good CDI titles are either ported or already on different pieces of hardware. The RZ one is prettier. It was like a purple one, right? I can't actually... Wait, here it is. Oh, Alphys! I like this! I like this controller! Check this out! It's got the clear purple plastic. I like that, Alphys. That's a spoon? That's not a spoon! Alphys. Ryu Jinx is still active and has been chill. I imagine if you're developing emulation software and you're doing it in a smart way, that you probably won't get taken down, you probably won't get cease and desisted. In fact, I think the only reason certain games get taken down is unfortunate timing for the most part. Hi Kefki. How's your Wand of Gamelon Wednesday going? I think the only reason a lot of games get taken down is due to either poor timing or the developers not being very smart and charging for updates or putting up a Patreon or having a donation page. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot receive money for projects based on other people's IPs. Thank you for the headpat, Richard. Hi, Serrated Nexus. How are you? How are you? But I know, I've talked about this a few times before. A project that got taken down was... what was the name of it? It was the Toho Battle Network clone. Hi, Turtle Mala. It was... Shanghai.exe. Shanghai.exe. That one got taken down whenever, I think the creator of that put up like a Patreon or something and started like taking money for it. And that's a big no-no. That's a big no-no. I think the reason that, there was another RZ controller. I only saw this one. But I think the reason that, like, another Metroid 2 remake got taken down is merely poor timing. I think. I don't know how bad Nintendo is about taking down fan projects that are completely free and don't really, like, interact with anything they're currently making. I've heard that they're very vicious about fan projects and stuff, but also then, like, after the fact, I end up hearing, like, half the people were, like, charging for them, or in another Metroid 2 remake's case, that was coming out at the same time, unfortunately, that Nintendo was making an official one. Hi, Vita! Hi, Vita. How's your Vita Wednesday going? This is based on the CDI Spoon controller. I can't find a different one here. There's a pink one. Is it this pink one here? I found this picture that has another one. There's a pink one. There's a gray one, and there's the clear purple plastic one. But I don't know. Even if there aren't really good games, I would like to, I don't know, have all of these consoles. I would like to have a CDI just to play all the shovelware. They used a third-party company that utilizes AI to mass takedown, hence why Drawn to Life's JP DS-ROM was hit, since the word marionette is in the title. No way! No way! Mario Net? No way! You can't stop me from going to jail. Hold my beer. I love these. Beer's gross. Beer's gross. His and hers matching CDI spoons? They're not spoons. Don't eat with them. My Wednesdays are always good. That means you've made it halfway through the week, Olympies. Let me get this foolish release off screen. Foolish. I can't believe Nintendo stole the Wiimote idea from the CDI. It didn't have any kind of, like, gyro or motion controls in it, did it? Haru only drinks vodka because he's a real manly man. I only drink vodka on Wednesday. It's vodka Wednesday, Olympies. I've got my... I have my big, clear liquid container full of vodka over here. To, you know, to get streams started right. You'll see how well I can hold my alcohol after I've had about 100 ounces of vodka over the duration of the stream. It's been fine, thanks. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. What's Haru's favorite non-standard controller design? Hold on. I love this thing. It's kinda sort of traditional controller style, kinda sorta, but it's funky shaped, and every time I bring this up, people say I'm a creature for this. I prefer this over the N64 controller. I love the Super Pad 64 LLPs. It's so weird. It's so wonky. It works super well. That thing is a joy to use. Super Pad is pretty good. See? I love this thing. I had one of these, and like this was how I played stuff. The N64 controller is terrible, so anything is okay. These days, I prefer to use Xbox controllers for the most part. Like, the current gen Xbox controller, it feels good to hold. I prefer the placement of the analog sticks with the D-pad being down below, because honestly,
most games I'm playing are better with the D-pad anyway, so it feels more natural to have my hand down on the D-pad. That's why I've seen some people argue that like the DualShock controllers are better because they have they have the sticks down in the lower position. I like having the D-pad down there in the in like the main resting thumb position personally, and then like I just claw grip everything I play. I claw grip everything, so I press like the hold on, let me look at my controller. I press like I have my thumb on the A button and sometimes the X button, but then I kind of like wrap my I wrap my index finger around like the B button, the Y button, and the X button, so I can just like hit them that way. That's how I play. That has always been how I play. And then my middle finger is on the right bumper, and my ring finger is on the trigger. That's how I play always. I don't know if that's weird guy mode or not, but I don't know. Same. Got a mess of connectors and converters behind my TV. I don't have too much stuff like hooked up at any one given time, but I'm probably going to need to make more space for all these different consoles in my room after I get my my retro tank. I am going to keep like an SNES always on standby. Maybe I already have an N64 just chilling out in my room next to my CRT. I have a tiny CRT in my room hooked up with an N64 right now, and I'll probably leave that there and just like hook it up whenever I need it, because I don't know how many ROM hacks are actually going to work on the official hardware. I know some do. I will appreciate those that do, because that sounds fun to play a ROM hack on official hardware. But I don't think that's gonna be the standard. Let me get a drink, on please. I sure do love taking. I shouldn't even joke about that. I might get banned off of Twitch if I say I'm drinking vodka and you guys are allowing me to do hydrates. It's water. It's water. Don't ban me, Twitch. It's Water Wednesday. It's Wet Water Wednesday, Elmonface. Make sure you're getting plenty of water to drink, okay? For those who don't know, after Philips decided to push towards the system being game-focused, a mandate was to have every controller be compatible with every game. Huh? Shouldn't every controller work with every game? Shouldn't they? Meaning, yeah, you can play Zelda with what is effectively a TV. Oh, you mean that? I think they did something like that. It obviously wasn't everything needed to work with everything. I think they had like a PS2 DVD remote thing. The Shiroiga, you can't. I know you're making a funny joke. You can't say that. You can't say that. I know Nintendo said it. You can't do that one. You can't do that one. I know the PS2 had like a remote that I think it had like all of the face buttons on it, and I believe it worked for like playing games. I think. I remember seeing them around. I never used one. I did not use my PS2 as a DVD player. I was not a movie watcher, as you guys can probably tell by the fact that I don't know anything Elmonface related to movies. I don't know anything. You can ask me who Tom Cruise is. He's probably a recognizable guy. I legitimately have no idea who he is. I think he's in like Mission Impossible, maybe. But I could not look at a picture and tell you who he is. I could not tell you any of his roles. He's Mr. Mission Impossible, yeah. I'm glad I got that right. I was like half guessing. That sounded kind of familiar. I've never seen a Mission Impossible movie. I don't know who Tom Cruise is. Reminds me of the Genesis controller. Yeah, and I think the Genesis controllers are really good on Elmonface. I got this in a Happy Meal once. You got a Super Pad in a Happy Meal? No way. I play Splatoon with my index finger on the face buttons because I use C-stick to aim. I heard Splatoon supports gyro aiming, and honestly, that sounds kind of fun to play. I feel like controllers should still come with like the Wii U wrist straps, so that you're not like throwing your controller at the wall or your TV or your console. It's just lean twitch. Lean twitch? You think the lower position is more ergonomic? The upper one is usually considered more comfortable?